I must say that you guys have really been coming through with those requests that I've been asking when it comes to a B6 size notebook. I got a suggestion from one of you to check Kinokuniya. I hope I'm saying it right. I know I probably am not saying it right at all. So if you want to see this unboxing and paper test, please keep watching. Okay, so I just got this in the mail. It actually said that it would arrive like yesterday or something. And it's one of the things that I hate about the mail when it says it's going to arrive one day and then it says it's running late. So frustrating. But it came the following day, which is great. And yeah, so what I did was go on to the Kinokuniya website. I will post it in the description box. So I went on the website. It's not very user friendly, but apparently they have a ton of stuff on there. They even have like pens you can buy from and markers and things like that. Someone has suggested that the book, you can find this book, and it's supposed to be a hardcover. So I ordered it. It was roughly $29.95, and then there was an $8 shipping charge. So I did kind of pay a pretty penny for this notebook, and it's well packaged. In fact, I probably will save this bubble wrap, something I tend to do. I save the bubble wraps for when I ship out products that I'm selling, for instance, my planners and things like that. There wasn't many options when it came to like color or like the style of pages or anything like that. So this one is a B6 size. The paper color is cream. It has 320 pages and it says it's made in Japan. And this is also a grid, 5mm. And that's okay because I like 5mm grid. So usually when I test the size, I don't even take out a measuring or like a measuring tape or a ruler. I just take my Stalogy B6 because that tends to be the universal notebook for B6 and compare it. So it does look like there is about 1mm or 2 extra on the top. And the spine, there's just like a couple, probably even less, maybe like 2mm. The top probably like 3 millimeters. And when I compare it to my Life notebook, it's about the same because the Life notebook and the Stalogy notebook are pretty much identical. The only difference is that the Life notebook has the squared corners. So this one has curved corners, very similar to the Stalogy here in the middle. This one is called Non-Bulls. I want to say Nobles, like Barnes & Noble, but there's an N there. And let's open this guy up. It does seem to have one of these elastic bands. Let me move these out of the way so we can focus on this one first. So it does come with elastic band, which actually seems pretty sturdy and not loose at all. Has this little sleeve paper. And yeah, it has this bird. I guess it's a penguin on the front. And it does have Non-Bull written underneath it. You can kind of see that. But other than that, it's just black. Hardcover. And let's compare that with my other hardcover B6, which is really like a shortened version of a B6. So this one is pretty stuffed, but that's because it comes with this band. Okay, so it has a band. This band is obviously a lot wider. The spine, pretty identical. In fact, the material is pretty identical to me. This one, the paper is also cream, so we'll compare those together as well. Of course, this B6 here is a Tokuker, and it is a lot shorter and a little bit, tiny bit narrower. Let's take a look at this paper. So we have the sleeves. It does say made in Japan, and it gets straight into the pages. So this is 52 Tomoe River GSM paper. I probably said that backwards. This is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and it has the 5mm grid, and that's pretty much what you see. Let's see what's in the back. There is no pocket in the back, and you do get a brown little bookmark here, and the end. Very simple. Off the bat, I'm a little shocked that it was $30. Let's just say that. I did not pay $30 for this one. I think I paid, it was still in the 20s, but not as nearly close to 30. But this one has a back pocket with it, and it extends too, and it's almost like reinforced here because it's black. So it includes that. The paper is dot grid. It's also cream. And let's see. Oops, sorry. Okay, so the cream and cream, they're roughly the same. And then the grid is blue. It doesn't look like it's gonna hold my pages if I were to stuff it. I can see the threading in this one, and you can see how it looks like it will hold better. Already the pages to me in this notebook, it just seems a little flimsy. But I guess you don't know until you start really using it. It does seem like the paper is Tomoe River. It feels the exact same as it does in this notebook. And then the color of the paper is pretty much identical here. Now let me pull out the other two notebooks. Obviously, Stalogy has a bright white color in their pages. And then here is the Life book, which is definitely more yellow, almost orangey tinted. Very interesting. These three are grid. This one is dot. And I wonder if it's hard to come by to make a notebook with dot grid rather than regular grid. Okay, so let's do a pen test, which I am pretty sure is going to be like any other pen test I've done in a Tomoe River notebook. One thing I do really like about this is the fact that the band does not have any like charm on it. So it will lay flat, whereas this one does have that bump, and when you do slide into a notebook cover, it does become bothersome as you do get further along in the notebook. So let's see first. I mean, it lays flat. I'm sure you have to train the front of the pages, but it still pretty much lays flat. It is stitch binding. and the pages are not numbered, but they say you get roughly 320 pages. It may not last you the whole year if you're going to use it as a bullet journal, but it's hard to find a notebook that will last you the whole year if you are an avid bullet journaler anyway. Writing. I'm going to change the angle so that you could really see what I'm writing as I'm writing it. Okay, so I'm only going to do a few pens, so I don't want this to be too long and I don't want to fast forward. Of course, I'm going to start off with my favorite pens, which are my fountain pens. This is a TWSBI. Very juicy. This is the stub nib, and I have noodlers. Navajo. Turquoise. It has beautiful shading. And again, it is pretty wet. Okay, so next is my Pelikan M205 demonstrator. And I've actually recently changed the ink. This is now holding the Sailor ink called the Ink Studio, and let's write this down. Sailor Ink Studio, which they don't have names, they have numbers. So this number is 162. Try my Sailor Mini, and I am still using the cartridge ink. It's just black. And this is a medium fine nib, not very wet. And I have found that the Sailor inks aren't very wet either. Okay, so let's try something I didn't try last time. How many of you actually write with the Sharpie pen anymore? I find that Sharpie pens are nice to write with, but the ink isn't as vibrant of a black ink as I prefer. This is the Le Pen Technical Drawing Pen. It is permanent. They come in different sizes. This is actually the 1.0 size. You can definitely see how much blacker it is in comparison to the Sharpie pen. And let's try a Sarasa Dry in 0.5. And last but not least, let's try this pen, which is actually a brush pen. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's by Pilot. I will try to link one for you. I did get this from Amazon, and I think they sell them on Jet Pens, I think. So my hand is very shaky, and I actually don't write with this pen very often. I haven't practiced with it, but the nib is so tiny in comparison to a Fudenosuke from Tombow. Let's see if you can see those. Yeah, the nib is so tiny, but it flexes really nicely. Although the flexing is very soft, so you have to be careful. I can control the Tombow better just because I am more familiar with the nib. Whew. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you are like me looking for B6 notebooks, I am so glad that I'm like building my collection, because I feel, you know, I'm sad that I missed out on getting more of the other one. So now that I know where I can get some more, I will definitely be purchasing more from this shop. I do have another shop that I have recently purchased from as well, from Washington, and it's not a hardcover, it's a soft cover, but I'm excited for when that one comes in. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!